After the success of Balatro, you might be fatigued from hearing the phrase, a roguelike with a twist. But Atico Games have done their best to convince you to try their spin on the genre, Die in the Dungeon. And I have to say, their argument certainly has some merit. With some charming characters, compelling strategy, and of course the blessing of Lady Luck, well, sometimes, Die in the Dungeon will be one of those games where you'll quickly lose track of time from simply rolling the dice. If you've played these roguelike deck builders before, like Slay the Spire or Balatro, then you'll quickly feel right at home. Instead of fighting monsters with enchanted decks of summoning cards or racking up crazy poker hands, you'll be collecting, rolling, and placing dice on a board to engage your foes. Things start off pretty basic. Red dice is your attack value, blue dice is for blocking, green for healing, just to name a few. Things get pretty complicated, however, and there are a variety of different types of dice which you'll earn throughout your different runs, and you can build your set to suit your specific playstyle. It's not just all about RNG. There is an element of decision making and puzzle solving that needs to be done during combat in order to be successful. Rolling the dice is only part of it. You also need to place each piece on the board in a specific slot. For example, the purple dice can boost the values of other dice in specific slots. The positioning can have a significant impact on the outcome of your turn, and as the game continues, positioning becomes more and more crucial. For example, in this battle here, if I fill up these specific highlighted slots, then the attack damage of the enemy will greatly decrease. Like most successful games in the same genre, Die in the Dungeon gets one of the most crucial pieces of the puzzle right, and that's in evolving the gameplay. Runs start off pretty simple, but over time there are layers that get added on which not only give you new ways to play, but also more complex enemies to deal with, some of which may alter the board or even have specific attributes like requiring you to deal damage to the exact same value as their remaining health. The strategy with the dice evolves as well. Firstly, dice may have an energy cost to play them, but you can also apply properties and attributes to your dice. Some you can re-roll, others can have value increases after each use during combat, and once again, these can be switched up to suit your different playstyle. While not as addicting as some of its predecessors, it's very clear that this game does take inspiration from Slay the Spire, and you can see that in between the fights. After each battle, you will choose which room you want to enter next, and those choices can heavily impact a run. While some just may be a simple battle, others may have elite enemies or even random encounters, some of which can give certain buffs or nerfs, depending on the decisions you make. There is a forge where you can make adjustments to your dice, including improving the values to help you get better rolls, as well as a shop to help you get additional dice properties or even character items that can alter the flow of battle. I do appreciate in both the forge and store, you can usually get a free sample, which means that even if you are strapped for cash, you can usually walk away with something instead of that room becoming completely redundant. There are also rooms where you can discard dice or even shuffle around the values of each face on your dice. So you can play more conservatively and have every side roll as a moderate number, or up some of the sides to roll bigger numbers, but with the risk that you might land on a side that has potentially nothing. All these elements combined with balancing risk and determining how much you want to lean your strategy into RNG is something that over time develops really well and allows for some varied gameplay. There are a couple of different characters to choose from, each with their own playstyles and boards, and although this game is in early access, I think it makes a really good case for its asking price, which is $13 US. Although there is currently a launch offer with a small discount going on at the moment, so you can get it under $10 if you act quick. More content is on the way, and there've been a good amount of bug fixes. I did originally have an issue with the loading screens taking a bit too long, but a recent patch seems to have fixed that issue. I can also appreciate the artistic elements in this game, both from the visual design of the characters, board, and items, as well as the sound effects and music. If I had to be really picky, I will say the only thing I'm really not a fan of is the text font. You will do a fair bit of reading in this game, especially when you start out, and I just personally found the font choice to not be very legible, especially when there is a mountain of text with different colors. Sometimes it just felt a bit overwhelming. I did say earlier that I don't think this game is as addicting as some of its predecessors like Balatro and Slay the Spire, but maybe with some updates and more content, that can change. But in its current state, I think it's worth its asking price. Die in the Dungeon might not be the revolution of the genre, but there is a certain intangible charm to this game which kept me coming back. Be it the art style, the simple dice rolling, or the challenge of bettering my previous runs, it's definitely worth sinking some hours into seeing how far your lucky dice will take you. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like and comment below to let me know your thoughts on Die in the Dungeon. And of course, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on my upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching. Lancy out.